This NBA Finals and Stanley Cup edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Edge Boost, the bank account built for better. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet with promo code SGPN and get a free Refs Are Terrorists t-shirt. Claim your shirt at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/refs.
This is Brian Bosworth, aka The Boz, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride, brother. Peace out. Boz out.
Cox.
He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog.
Sean, do you know whose birthday it is today?
Ooh, that's the birthday of the end of the Sopranos, the final episode happening. I saw that anniversary, but I don't know birthday. What you got me stumped, Ryan?
Joe Montana.
Oh, okay.
69.
60. He's 69 years old.
Yeah, no, I wasn't referring to Joe Montana 69 and in any other context than his age.
Okay.
Yeah, he's
Congrats.
making that clear.
Nice. Congrats for Joe Montana.
Remember when we saw him at Barry's?
I did. I said, "Hey, what's up, Joe Montana?"
He's probably 66 at the time.
Just kept walking. Ryan, do you have where's Joe Montana fit in your all-time quarterback ranks?
He was very good. He won a lot.
Yeah.
He's on a lot of very short lists. Some lists that include just himself.
Really?
I think so. Is there another undefeated, like, with that many Super Bowl ring? You know, like
undefeated. Yeah, I'd have to think on it. But
you could make
did
a lot.
Terry Bradshaw ever lose the Super Bowl?
That's a good point. Short list all around.
Yeah,
I would say you have to probably put him after Tom Brady.
Oh wow! Don't let Colby hear this.
At some point, you have to acknowledge the ridiculousness. So yeah, I'd say Joe Montana, probably a top 10 guy.
Terry Bradshaw 4-0 in Super Bowls.
Yeah.
So, but I'm sure everyone will try and discredit him like Jalen Hurts. Oh, he had such a good defense. Just so you know,
I think it's more.
Joe Montana also had Jerry Rice, Roger Craig. Like he had very good head coach. Like if it takes a lot to win multiple Super Bowls, you have to have good players around you.
I don't know why you're attempting to insult Jalen Hurts by comparing him to Terry Bradshaw, but I would say that's not a very good comparison in my eyes.
Oh, I wasn't comparing him. I was just saying.
You kind of were though.
No, but then I said comparing him to Joe Montana. People don't discredit Joe Montana as a quarterback by saying
because
he had Jerry Rice.
Because the offense was the offense was the key component to the Niners, and two, the West Coast offense specifically run by Joe Montana was the reason they were who they were. They did have the greatest receiver of all time.
Yeah. Which is a huge plus.
Yes, 100%. But yeah, I think Terry Bradshaw, no one would argue that Terry Bradshaw was the best quarterback by any measure during that time. And so the idea that Terry Bradshaw was carried more than these other guys, I would disagree with that take. I mean, he has like generally average to bad stats.
Terry Bradshaw, yeah. Well, also the game was a little different back then overall in his defense. But hey, he
threw a lot of interceptions.
The guy was a good quarterback for that team, and they won a bunch of games. So hats off to you, Terry. Of course, hey, if you guys haven't downloaded the SGPN app, you can get all the free picks, the podcasts in one convenient place. We got College Baseball World Series, Stanley Cup. We're going to talk Stanley Cup in a little bit. We're going to talk NBA Finals in just a second. Download the SGPN app wherever you get your apps. All right, let's bring them on. We got our buddy Scott Reichel and Terrell Furman, both from the NBA and WNBA Gambling Podcast hopping on the line. Terrell, we'll start here with you. I saw you tweeted out, I hate when Sean is on an island, and Sean is right. I did think I didn't think the Pacers were going to get totally destroyed in this series, but it's only 2 games. They did win the first one. Is Oklahoma City just gonna smash them the rest of the way? Am I gonna cash my Pacers plus 2.5? What adjustments have you made as far as prediction wise for the series after the first 2 games?
Well, I still have concern about OKC going on the road and potentially dropping a game there. We talk about OKC and what they've done on the road in the playoffs this season. They are 0-7 ATS on the road,
It's crazy.
and which is crazy to think about because they've probably been the most dominant team in the playoffs over the course of the entire playoffs, and they somehow can't get the number done in the road. So that makes things really, really concerning. Now, does that mean that there's positive regression? That makes me feel good about that. Possibly some positive regression over these next 2 games. But other than that, I think that this Pacers team is the team that you are scared of when it gets to a close game in the fourth quarter. And so if you told me that they were able to snag one of these home games too, and now it's a best of 3 again, then I wouldn't be surprised. But hopefully for me and the highly hate watch group that, the OKC Thunder find a way to get done.
Now, Scott, have you been enjoying? I feel like you had a very measured take on Halliburton, but has any of your takes changed since we talked to you before the series started? Halliburton had an amazing shot game 1. Other than that, has not been playing that well. Padded his stats a little bit. It felt like in game 2 of the fourth quarter. But where are you at with Halliburton? Where are you at with the Pacers? Was it just some crazy fluke win game 1, or do they got a shot here to win another one at home?
Yeah, I'm mad at Halliburton. He went over 16.5 points. I don't know how he went over 16.5 points, but he went over with that fadeaway 3-pointer in the corner. But either way, point is, nothing has really surprised me that much besides the comeback, obviously, in game 1. OKC did win, or were the better team for, I'd say, 93 out of the 96 minutes. But you know what? Who cares? Indiana's happy. They stole a game in OKC. They're going back home. And in theory, if they win every game in Indiana, they're the new champions. So they don't really care how it was actually, unfolding. They were just happy they got the job done. Was I surprised at all by how OKC dominated based on the majority of these games? No. I thought that Indiana's half-court offense would have problems scoring against this defense, and they have. And one area that OKC has been successful in is limiting the transition points and limiting the opportunities for Indiana. And I'm hoping that you're looking at Carlisle and Indiana ramping up the pace again, kind of like what they did against the Knicks in Game 6. They start pressing a bit more. They really just start upping the tempo as much as they possibly can, trying to just overwhelm the Thunder in that area. But right now, the Pacers are still in a good spot. They accomplished their goal, winning home court advantage back to Indiana. Do I think they're going to win both these games at home? No. Do I think they'll win game 3? We'll talk about it in a second. But I do think that Indiana got off to a good start in the series. Fluky or not, who cares? It's a win. You got to find ways to win 4 games. They're a quarter of the way there. And if they win both home games here, they're up 3-1. So good for Indiana, but I think we'd agree at this point the Thunder have looked like the much better team for the majority of these 2 games. And I guess, ironically, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, I mean, their goal was to go in, I think, Indiana and steal 1. They did that. Mission accomplished, hang the banner. But now you got to start, the role players have to start playing better. Halliburton has to start playing better. Kramer, where are you at? I know you hate Indiana. It's flyover state.
I don't.
You've been trashing them. You've been trashing them. They won game 1. Game 2, they were getting blown out and just never came back. Where are you at with this series?
First of all, I have not trashed them. I said you can barely see the city from the small window in the plane as I'm flying over.
All right.
2, on cue, Halliburton turns into a pumpkin like he seems to from time to time in these series. It's just inexcusable for someone to get to try to tell me that this guy is a superstars don't do that. Superstars don't do that.
Superstars do hit these game-winning shots, and he's hit a bunch of them.
So does Robert Horry. So does
Robert Horry didn't hit this many.
Doug Fisher. Robert Horry didn't hit that many. And
to compare these last 5 seconds, all in one playoffs.
Sure, Robert Horry is responsible for some of the greatest last minute.
He did. Yo, I'm saying he hit a
His
bunch, but I never
was literally Big Shot.
Did he ever have a playoff run like this?
I mean, he has the most rings. I mean, maybe not the most, but he has a shitload of rings. I mean, he might not have this many specific in the last 5-second moments, but I think he has probably more moments, big moments in the playoffs. I mean, how compared to Robert Horry, Halliburton's kind of a nobody.
Well,
that's the graphic.
I would say Halliburton's run here,
and I hate Robert
in
Horry.
this particular playoffs as is historic. And again, they came in at like 28-1 just to win the East, and now they've already stolen a game from the Thunder, who are historic favorites coming in to start this NBA Finals.
So I feel great about my Thunder 3-1 series lead. Feel great about everything.
Oh yeah. So you need them obviously then to sweep both these games, and you're feeling very confident.
What's the spread?
5.5.
Seems
they have
like
not covered a game on the road so far.
Don't need them to cover.
You
don't need them to cover.
Okay. Oh, you're right. To get your 3-1, you don't need them to
cover, Sean.
All right, we're gonna get to the game, get to some picks. Of course, we're brought to you by Edge Boost, the first ever bank account built for bettors. Ensuring all gambling transactions are approved. No usage fees, no minimums. Get the cash back rewards. 100% approval for all betting deposits. And sign up at edgeboost.bet. Promo code SGPN. And last week to get the Refs Are Terrorists t-shirt. If you've already signed up over at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/refs to claim your free t-shirt. Jake has sent the shirts. They're on their way. And we're also brought to you by Circa and the ultimate fantasy football giveaway. You're probably thinking about, oh man, it's just Circa's great. Awesome place to host your draft.
We were just there, Sean.
Yeah, it was. And Kramer's voice still hasn't recovered. That sounds
such
good.
a great night. You know, I hate, there's a couple of things I hate. I hate too much alcohol.
Yes.
I hate too much socializing, and I hate too much loud music.
Well,
and I enjoyed all of it.
If you're like Kramer, even a curmudgeon old guy who gets Vegas voice can enjoy Circa, then you certainly can. Great place to have your fantasy football draft, and of course you can win a chance for you and your entire league. So if I was in a league, me and my 11 buddies are all entering. You multiply your odds of winning. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/circa. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/CIRCA. Game 3 here. Oklahoma City Thunder laying 5.5 in Indiana. We'll start with you, Terrell. What do you like in this game? Side, total. We'll talk a little props after, but let's just start side and total. What are you doing here? Game 3.
Well, first, let's just go ahead and get this out the way. I am emotionally playing this game. Emotional hedge. I'm sorry, guys. I don't think it counts the same as, when you use actual money, but it is an emotional hedge because I don't want to see anything good happen to this Pacers team. I am very, very disappointed that we are currently 13 minutes and 15 seconds into this podcast, and nobody has said anything about the Pacers naming their streets after the players. But yeah, it was such a big deal. It was such a big deal when the Knicks did it, but nobody said anything. I ain't seen chat say it. I ain't hear y'all say it. Nobody's talking about the Pacers doing it, and yet the Pacers are doing the exact same thing. The exact same thing. They're front running. They have home court advantage, and now they're naming streets after players. Oh, okay. But yes, I would like to see the Pacers lose this game. However, the OKC is still 0-7 ATS against the opponents on the road in the playoffs. So with that, Pacers plus 5.5. Now, OKC wins and covers. Who's going to be mad? Not me. But I'll go ahead and take that there. So let's start the betting card off with that. Then we'll go to the total.
Yeah, what are you doing in the total? To me, quick eye test, it does feel like the over, but which way are you going total wise, Terrell?
I think if you like Pacers, you gotta like the over. That's how they win the game. They keep it a fast-paced game, and they just hit more shots at home. And all those Obi Toppin threes that missed that last game, the inefficient shots by Halliburton, and the complacency by Halliburton. That's not going to happen in this game. I think Pascal Siakam can also have a really, really big game in this one. I think he's actually the matchup nightmare that they haven't been able to take advantage of as they would have liked to. So I think it happens here at home. I like the Pacers to go over their team total specifically more than the over. You look at what the Oklahoma City Thunder have been doing in the playoffs, and they are 5-2 to their opponent's team total going over, and they are also 1-6 to not covering their own team total, which also coincides with the fact that they're, again, 0-7 ATS on the road this season, 1-6 ATS on the road to the team total, and then 5-2 to the opponents. I like Pacers to go over their team total of 111.5 here. They get the scoring done. Maybe OKC scores more points than them, but I don't need that. I just need the 111.5 from the Pacers.
Let's go, Scott. What do you like here, Game 3?
Yeah, it's tough for me to really want to lay points with a team that has still never covered ATS. And Indiana did play really badly for the majority of those first 2 games. I expect them to play better in Game 3. So right now I would go with Indiana, but I prefer Indiana early, actually. I like Indiana first half in this game. I know we tend to see this type of get-up spot when a team is down 2-0, but I do think for the sake of the series, Indiana is going to need to get off to a better start. They've kind of gotten into some trouble early in these games, and even though a comeback is nice, you don't want to rely on fourth quarter comebacks all the time. I think Indiana, I trust more early in this game. I do think Carlisle will have a nice game plan in store. Think he'll up the aggression a bit more defensively. Think he'll push the pace a bit more. I can see the Thunder struggling early on in this game. They might make some adjustments in the second half. This game might come down to the wire. But I do think for the actual spread itself, I prefer Pacers first half spread as opposed to full game. I think if Indiana wants any chance to actually win this game, they need to get off to a much better start, and then they'll do so in front of the crowd. And you mentioned the Thunder not being that great on the road ATS. I like Indiana early in this game. Give me Pacers first half.
Now, how many points you getting there in the Pacers first half, or are you playing on the money line, Scott?
I actually like the money line. I think that Indiana can definitely have a lead at half. If you want to go for the points, it's around 2.5 or 3.5. I think that once again, Indiana can find themselves in a spot to lead at half, use the crowd. We've seen the Thunder come out flat in a couple of road games to start, and I think that could happen again in this one. So I like the Pacers first half money line in this game.
Kramer, what are you doing?
I wanted to explain to Terrell that the reason that no one is saying anything about the Pacers and putting street signs up is because no one cares because they're never going to visit that city.
Wow.
It's very simple. 2, just wanted to quickly update you, Sean, because I know you're a big TV ratings guy. But the Game 2, 8.76 million people watched. Fun fact, the average for an NFL game last year was almost 18 million. So that's embarrassing. Again, leading. Why is the number down so low? Because Indiana is in there, Sean.
Yeah.
Not a lot of TVs in the state of Indiana also. They still haven't figured out the power grid.
All right.
Lay the points with OKC. Every trend has to end eventually.
Okay.
I'm taking Siakam for first basket once again. 0-2 so far.
And what are you getting Siakam first basket?
It's the same price, $8.50.
Okay. For me, it's I'm all over the Pacers plus 5.5.
Last thing I was going to say about the TV ratings, and shout out. Rarely will I say this, but shout out to Clay Travis for making this easy for me to find. But the Sopranos, basically the same rating as the NBA Finals, Game 2. Final episode of Sopranos 18 years ago that you mentioned versus Game 2 of the NBA Finals. Same amount of people watched it.
That makes it more impressive for the NBA Finals.
What are you talking about?
The Sopranos.
It was on HBO, dude.
Yeah, but everyone was watching the Sopranos finale. That was a touchstone moment. You remember where you were. You're not going to remember where you were Game 2 of the NBA Finals.
Oh yeah, but I'm just saying that HBO, like not everyone had HBO. You're correct. Everyone was at a house, maybe.
Yeah, a lot of people watched that.
Yeah, to your point, as a group. But I was more saying it as a premium TV product versus something that's available over the air.
Okay. Yeah. I mean,
it's not good.
I think the ratings are low, but I think it makes it sound more impressive if you say it had the same amount of
people watching.
Yeah. That to me makes it sound more impressive.
All right.
I mean, Terrell and Scott was probably in diapers. Scott, how old were you when the Sopranos went off the air? You probably you're probably too young to watch that.
I watched The Sopranos well after it ended. I actually finished Sopranos about a year ago. So not
great show.
No spoilers for Scott.
I was going to say no offense to Don't Stop Believing, but not exactly the best ending I've ever seen from the show. But
I agree. No,
I can understand where both of you are coming from though, because you compare the ratings to like an all-time TV moment. I
Yeah.
can understand what Sean's trying to say. On the other hand, we're comparing cable to HBO, so I understand where Kramer's coming from.
It should dominate,
Well,
but still, like,
Well,
errors also play a factor because you're mentioning 18 years ago. There's less options to watch 18 years ago. 105 million people tuned into the end of MASH. Does that mean anything? Like,
Yeah.
no, not
MASH
really.
was
Like,
awesome.
105 million people tuned in to watch the end of MASH. Depends on what era you want to look at.
That's a great all-time great Chris Rock bit where he's like, I haven't seen white people so mad since they took MASH off the air.
And then wasn't there like after MASH after that?
That I don't recall, but I don't really remember MASH. Getting back to the game, Pacers plus 5.5. Everyone talking about the trend of Oklahoma City not covering on the road ATS, which I agree with, or I think there is something to that. They're still a little inflated, my mind, in the marketplace, but really, I just love this Indiana team coming off a loss. They haven't lost back-to-back games since March 10th, and their ATS after a loss, 21-13-2 ATS after a loss. This team is great at coming back after a loss. They haven't gotten even really an awesome game from a lot of their big guys, and the fact that they are doing so well, or the fact that it's 1-1 without big games from a lot of their big guys, I think is huge. I think Pascal Siakam could have a very big game. I expect Halliburton to be more aggressive. And then on the other side, like Oklahoma City's role players, like I don't see them going nuts. Like I don't think Caruso is going to have a great night shooting on the road. Like some of the Lou Dort, I'm going to be looking to fade.
I don't know.
Lou
Alex
Dort.
Caruso might be at home. He looked like somebody from Indiana.
He does. He probably fits in. People are like, sorry, no fan access to the Oklahoma City locker room. Like, no, I swear to God, I'm on the team.
He looks like a farm boy.
Well, he's got the upside down headband. I think guys like Lou Dort and Caruso that were big parts of their offense aren't going to show up on the road offensively. So I think that's going to be the difference. I think they're live on the money line, but yeah, give me Pacers plus 5.5.
It's always important to do your own research. The reality is the Sopranos did actually crush the finals. It was closer to 12 million,
Okay.
12 out of their 28 million. So they had 28 million subscribers at the time. 12 million were tuned in live to watch that Sopranos final.
Yeah, that makes sense. Terrell, give us a one prop here for NBA Finals Game 3 before we let you go. Of course, subscribe to the NBA Gambling Podcast, the WNBA Gambling Podcast. What are you doing prop wise, Terrell? What's your favorite prop?
First of all, I'm sorry. I'm going back to the Sopranos conversation here. The Wire ended the same day, and I'm just saying The Wire is like one of the top greatest shows ever.
Is that true? They ended the exact same day?
Yeah, no, it actually ended. Well, this is what it says. It says here that they ended the same day.
So HBO just killed off their entire like elite shows in the same day. That's just a really bad.
But did we know? I'm trying to remember. Did we know at the time that was the last Wire episode? Because they made a huge deal that this was the series finale for The Sopranos, and I didn't watch The Wire live. I watched it years after, but. I don't remember that. Do you?
Well, it's also a difference for ratings because I think The Wire actually is a better show, but at the time, I have to imagine Sopranos was significantly more well known than The Wire. Is that a fair statement?
And The Wire was on like season 8 at that point.
Yeah,
it feels like
The Wire was
6 seasons, I think.
So I would say that the Wire was much more of an after the fact hipster type. Like people found it and then it became the greatest show ever.
But at the time, Sopranos was all over the place. Yeah.
In real time, Sopranos. It was like Sopranos and Oz. Oz was fair. If not for Sopranos, Oz was a pretty popular show as well. A little too much dick for my liking. A lot of random dick.
That's Ryan's critical review of The Wire.
I'm just saying you're a high school kid. You don't want to. The last thing you want to see is like that black guy dick meme in a real action live TV.
Well,
show.
it was filmed in prison. There was a lot of crazy shower scenes, and it was very. I never watched any odds.
A lot of hog actors.
The Wire was amazing. I don't know. To me, it's tough rating it. It was a slower burn, a little different, and then it felt like the different seasons were almost different shows sometimes. I don't know if I can put it above Sopranos.
It's nowhere near
neck and
Sopranos.
Can I? Is this?
I personally do. I think The Wire is a better show.
Oh,
both of them
okay.
are still really good, in my opinion.
Terrell,
He's very
safe
close
space?
to the situation.
Terrell, what do you have higher, a Wire or Sopranos?
Is this a safe space?
Yes.
I've never.
He's
seen
never
The
seen The
Sopranos.
Sopranos. Yeah, I knew that. Was
Oh
coming.
my
I knew that was coming. I knew that. I knew that was coming. 100%.
I'm jealous of you, Terrell, because you could
Oh, I
just
get to watch it for the first time.
yeah, like I'm jealous.
Well, I'm going to ask the Terrell,
You're
are you a big like
streaming.
mob? Are you a mob movie guy? Like, do you like that whole Italian mob atmosphere thing, or that's just not your thing? Because it's
No,
a lot of that.
No, I think I like it. I mean, I like shoot 'em up. I like gang culture and stuff like that. It's just white gang culture. So I don't.
Yeah, it is.
It's one of the greatest like examples of a television show or movie where you are rooting for the villain.
The
like,
anti-hero.
The main character is the villain. Yeah.
Which
is
as villain Rel, you should enjoy and embrace.
We almost need to do we almost need to assign Terrell homework.
Yeah, that's going to be your new bit. Anytime we have you on the show, give us the Sopranos episode recap. What episode you're on? What? Like, oh my God, no, I don't even want to spoil. This Christopher's
I want you to know. I also know nothing about the show. So if there's like
Yeah.
a moment that everybody knows or like a reference that everybody knows or talks about, I don't know it. I would be going into this completely blind, not knowing what's going to happen episode to episode.
I was trying to say something positive because she's your friend.
Terrell, yeah, you got to go learn.
There's so many good lines.
You got to go learn what a guma is.
You got a lot of homework, Terrell. But before you start watching The Sopranos, please give us one prop you love for NBA Finals Game 3.
I gotta go back to White Knight, TJ McConnell. He's been good. He's been good, and I like the Pacers to score, and I think that he's going to be leading that bench unit. And I've been playing the points and assists, and it's constantly been cashing, and they don't change that line. I hate to throw shade at your bet, but your 5.5 rebounds and assists isn't there anymore. It's 6.5 now. So
it is.
My 10.5 points and assists are still there, and he still keeps going over, and I don't know why they don't change it. So yeah, give me TJ McConnell over 10.5 points and assists.
Let's go, Scott. What do you like in the prop market? NBA Finals Game 3.
Yeah, so I'm going to run back a prop I took last game, which cashed, but it did drop a little bit in terms of the number. I still like it. It's Casey Wallace under 9.5 points and rebounds. He has been quite underwhelming lately. He has gone under 9 in 3 straight. Against Indiana, he has gone under in 4 of the last 5. You're looking at his minutes, and he played a bunch of minutes in game 1, still went under. His minutes plummeted to about 23. I think that sounds about right. I think he'll be around that number. We know that Shea wants to have the ball in his hands all the time. So does J-Dub. Casey Wall is mostly going to be a guy kind of like what Caruso's roles offensively. Occasional back cuts, mostly standing in the corner, trying to space the floor. But the points have not been there, and the minutes have kind of been going down. Chet was great in game 2. Hartenstein's been solid. We saw Aaron Wiggins have a great game. Caruso's been very good as well. I just think Wallace will be around that 23, 25-minute mark, and I just don't see enough production. Give me Casey Wallace under 9.5 points and rebounds at -130.
Ooh, like it. Kramer, do you have a prop you like besides your Pascal Siakam play? Anything else you want to toss in there?
So I saw. No, I've never played these markets before, but I saw that my bookie had free throw attempts.
Ooh, okay.
That feels like a little bit fool's gold. Should maybe we'll just do a money bag.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's just
fire up a my bookie money bag.
I don't know why I didn't think about this first.
Okay. While you're firing up the my bookie money bag, Ryan, I'm gonna go out and give my prop. Give me Lou Dort under 8.5 points. Lou Dort, they moved it up. He was at 7.5. They've moved it up to 8.5. He may have to lay a little bit of juice, but Lou Dort is just a classic home and road guy. He was hitting at home first, and even game 2, he only had 3 points. But game 1, obviously he went off. He had 15 in the loss, but then you look at some of his last road games. He just is clearly, I'm looking at one couple. Yeah. Just trust me on the Lou Dort under 8.5 points. He's going to be regressing. I think he's going to be focused on defense. Like I don't think they really need his offensive prowess. So yeah, give me Lou Dort under 8.5 points. Kramer, Firing up a
Where's the money bag?
mybookie.ag money bag, promo code SGPN. Get in over there.
I think it's going to be a winning margin. Yes. All
Okay.
right.
Thunder versus Pacers winning margin. So it'll
or
give you,
do I go random square?
random square 75.
You know what?
Or
Let's
you
do
could
shape
do
play. Let's do shape points.
Shea points at plus 36.75. So you're going to get a random number and you're trying to match SGA's points. MyBookie.ag promo code SGPN.
Someone yelled at me in my DMs how these bets are stupid. Thank you, sir. I'm enjoying them.
Okay. Firing up the randomizer.
All right. Off my screen. All right, here we go.
So just to be clear, he has to have exactly this amount of points. Correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
37-1.
God damn it! I'm on a real cooler.
49 points.
I'm on a real cooler with this shit.
And you get it at 36.75. Well, good luck, Ryan.
Fuck.
If anyone could get 49 points, it might be SGA.
I would love to know what his actual number for 49 points would be.
Oh, it's not. It's better than that. It's much better than that.
All
right.
Appreciate you guys hopping on.
Face.
Make sure you follow them at Really Rel, at Reichel Radio. Subscribe to the NBA Gambling Podcast and WNBA Gambling Podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. And a quick shout out to Underdog Fantasy. Of course, head over to Underdog Fantasy. We got the extender going over on Underdog. Love the extender. I just got an extender entry here. I got a 60% profit boost right there to start. I'm going to take Lou Dort. Now Underdog has this 8.5 points. I'm going to take the lower here at 0.91x, and then TJ McConnell. I'll use Terrell's points and assists higher 10.5, and then Kason Wallace. I'll take Scott's lower there at 8.5 points and rebounds. $50 entry returns you $428. Underdog Fantasy promo code SGPN. Underdogfantasy.com promo code SGPN, and of course, make sure you head over to Rhythm. Get involved over on the Power Trends. Love Rhythm. They've been killing it. All NBA playoffs. Been a great resource. If you're ever thinking about messing around with some models, some modeling, it's very easy to come up with your own models. They walk you through it. You just select like, hey, I think these type of stats matter. That you get in on the slider. It's very easy to do. And of course, we got a 7-day free trial. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. One of Rhythm's favorite power trends. Let's see what they got here. I'll give you one. Isaiah Hartenstein over 1.5 assists. Isaiah Hartenstein over 1.5 assists. They have this hitting at 63.4%, which is a nice win probability. Got to lay a little juice, but they got it at 63.4%. You can come up with your own AI backed picks and props. Get your 7-day free trial. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Joining us on the line from the Hockey Gambling Podcast, Mr. Ryan Gilbert. What's happening, Ryan?
Not too much. I just thought I was getting bumped there for some TV rating talk there, which I mean, as a hockey fan, I cannot talk about that. I mean, hopefully we got a few million last night for the Stanley Cup Final.
Yeah, you're not coming in wanting to chat about TV ratings as a hockey.
Now, the product in the at least first game for NBA, but the product in the hockey in the Stanley Cup Finals has been amazing.
Well, and I would say even in Game 3 in the blowout. Even when the blowout was happening, at least it turns into a bunch of fun
cheap
fights.
Shots, the fights, the watching the ref, it's really fun to watch the refs study the fight to see when it's time to break it up. I love the way the announcers are calling out the cheap shots as they're happening. All right, well, there's going to be a little bit of scrap here. They're going after so-and-so. So yeah, no, I mean, it's hockey. I love it.
Let it slide. Ryan, what's your take been on the series so far? I think you were on the Panthers there. You had some Bobrovsky, Conn Smythe, which you have to have been stoked about. Game 3, Game 2 in the win. It was like, he still let up a bunch of goals, but Game 3 holding that Oilers team, who I felt like the casual here they got a lot of good looks, only let up one goal. He's right back in it. I would imagine Conn Smythe odds. Where are you at so far with the series?
Yeah, I mean, you guys said it. The series, if you're not a hockey fan, if you turn this game on, it's going to turn you into a hockey fan. The first
Yeah.
games, overtime, double overtime. I mean, just back and forth hockey. And then, yeah, a blowout, and the Oilers just lose their minds, go after everybody, squirt water bottles from the bench. Like, it's just craziness out there. And that just shows how good the Panthers are. The Panthers just keep coming at you wave after wave. And the Oilers' depth has been their strength throughout the playoffs, but now it's turning into a weakness here. Zach Hyman is out for the series. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins has an injury. He's clearly not 100%. McDavid even went up the tunnel a little bit for last game. And Stu Skinner, like, he's either on or he's not. And most of the time he's not. And the Panthers definitely take advantage of it. And like you said, Bob definitely came up pretty big there. I thought he might end up getting the shutout. Corey Perry scored again in the second period. But yeah, Conn Smythe, I'm pretty well covered. I have Bennett and Marchand are the two favorites for the Panthers now. I have each of them at over 100 to 1. So
oh man,
I got Bob. The guy that the Hockey and the Podcast has been pushing is Alexander Barkov. He has no points through 3 games, but he is their captain. He's their top line center. He's the identity guy, and he's down now to 45 to 1. All it takes is one good game, and he's right back up there at like 5 to 1. So Panthers so far are showing why they're the Stanley Cup champions. And they added Seth Jones. They added Brad Marchand, who's been fantastic. So Panthers they're looking great right now.
Amanda Hugginkiss DGen in the chat saying, who had a better fight last night, the Stanley Cup or DeMarcus Boogie Cousins? Kramer, how would you grade that? I mean, Boogie got knocked down a number of times, very graphic grabbing of his own junk.
I'd say both involved the situation where at some point they said, fuck it, I'm just going to do something so I don't have to finish this game.
Yes. It felt like someone who didn't want to be there and was going to fight their way out, both on the Oilers and Boogie Cousins. So they shared that. Now, I was a Oilers backer. You tried to talk me out of it a little bit there, Ryan, but CJ talked me into the Oilers. Game 2, second overtime, when they lost that game and Skinner let up it was a very blockable goal, and he had so many good stops there in that first OT to let that one be the one that decided the game and now possibly the series. Ultimate backbreaker, but it is hockey. Anything can happen. They just get this one right here, game 4. They're right back 2-2 and right back in this thing. What do the Panthers have to do game 4? Or sorry, what do the Oilers have to do game 4 to get the win to tie this back 2-2? And do you think they can do it?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It was a 6-1 game, blowout, complete embarrassment. But there's no aggregate. This isn't soccer. It's one game. It's a 2-1 series now. We saw a 3-0 series last year go to 7 games. So what the Oilers have to do is put their heads on straight, not take dumb penalties. The Panthers had 11 power plays in game 3, which is absolutely insane. Like half of the game was played on the power play for either side. But the Oilers just need McDavid to go in there, say, get your heads out of your asses and play hockey here. Don't try to fight people. We did that last game. We got that out of our system. Let's go in there and let's make things happen. Leon Draisaitl, no shots on goal last game. Connor McDavid, no points. I'm expecting a big game from McDavid. He's been passing the puck more. I think he only had 2 shots on goal last game. So I'm seeing him maybe shoot the puck more, be more aggressive, and just put the team on his back, because that's what he has to do. It's McDavid and Draisaitl, a very top-heavy team, especially with Hyman out and Nugent-Hopkins hurt. Corey Perry has been great on that top line, but I mean, the Oilers have to hope they get a good game out of Stu Skinner, because Sergei Bobrovsky is definitely the better goalie, and Skinner is horrible against breakaways, as we saw, like you said, in that overtime. Brad Marchand having the shorthanded one, and then the one in the double overtime. So Oilers got to get back to their defensive structure, keep it a low-scoring game, maybe. See if McDavid, Draisaitl can combine for 3 goals, win it 3-2, and not let it open up too much where the Panthers can just take advantage.
Well, I think you like that was the version of the game that everything going wrong for the Oilers, and you can see how easy how easy it is for everything to go wrong. I mean, a couple of those mistakes as a complete hockey layman seem like very, very basic mistakes that you're never supposed to make. I mean, it's the equivalent of passing across your own goal, that breakaway. What was he thinking right there? And then the fighting, you're fighting with a team that's bigger and tougher than you. That's stupid. I just, yeah, it seems like they fell for a big trap, and, you know, maybe a good coaching moment, but I'd be a little worried if I was an Oilers. I'd be nervous. That's the emotion I would have, because that looked bad.
Yeah, but to Ryan's point, like it's a clean slate, game 4.
They look bad, and you don't have the better goalie, as he pointed out.
That's true.
The confidence that brings.
How short of a leash do you think Skinner is on for game 4 here? Do they pull him early? Any chance they bench him? Where are they at? What do you think the Oilers' confidence is with Skinner?
I think the confidence is there, but they've shown with him that they will pull him and not start him. And they have Cal Pickard as the backup, who's, you know, a career journeyman backup guy. He was with the Flyers for half a year there, but he's, I believe, 6-0 in the playoffs. He looked decent coming into last night's game. So I wouldn't be shocked if they turn to him at some point, but I think they'll go back to Skinner. Maybe give him a quick hook if they go down too early. But, you know, if Knobloch needs to get his team going, maybe he does turn to Pickard there. I think, you know, Skinner is very volatile. He has 3 shutouts, but those were against teams that don't have the scoring depth that the Panthers do. So I think they stick with Skinner. But if it goes to a 3-1 series back to Edmonton, I could see Pickard coming back in.
Where does this Panthers team fit in like the all time? They seem like they're very, very good. They do everything really well. Like they're kind of every type of team.
They're amazing, and I've tried to bring that up to Joel on the Hockey Gambling podcast, saying like this is a great dynasty here, and he's like, no, you need 3 cups for a dynasty. Well, this is their third straight Stanley Cup final appearance. First one they weren't ready. They won last year, and they're looking good this year. They're like a fantastic team. Brad Marchand playing on the third line. Anton Lundell's the center there. He'd be a top 6 center on any other team in the league, pretty much. So we're going to look back on this team as like, yeah, this is a serious one of the best teams, like stretch of runs in the modern era, really, since the lockout of 04-05. Like, and it sucks for the Oilers that McDavid and Draisaitl are running into this team. We saw that back in the 80s with Gretzky. They ran into the Islanders and then they took over. So maybe Edmonton just needs that extra weapon to get over the hump. And the Panthers they're just rolling. I regret not just saying that from the get-go, but I got on them early enough. I got some good Conn Smythe bets, and I do think they have what it takes to win this in 6 still.
Now, so what do you? Okay, so if you think they still have a chance to win it in 6, what do you like here for game 4? What's the play? The over is hit in all 3 of these first games. Are we due for a regression back to the under? Are you sticking with the Panthers money line at -150? What do we do in game 4 here, Gilbert?
Yeah, -150 is getting a bit high for a Stanley Cup final game. I was looking back at what they were last year, and I don't think they got up past like -130. They were about -135, -140 last game. And this is the market reacting to what they saw. They're saying, okay, you know, big blowout win. Edmonton's beat up a little bit, but clean slate. The zigzag theory is always out there in the playoffs, especially in championship series. So if the Oilers get to like +130, it might be worth just taking that and seeing if they can, you know, play a closer game, because they showed that in game 1 and game 2 that they can keep up with them. And for the total, I do think we could get a sneaky under 6.5. I'm seeing -125 right now. That is a bit juicy for me, but last game only went over because the Oilers took so many penalties in the third period that the Panthers had a 5-on-3 power play goal. 3 of their goals were on the power play. I see a more disciplined game. I see a lower scoring game. So under 6.5 would be the way I look for the total. I think there's value on the Oilers as the road underdogs, and I wouldn't hate taking the draw. I'm seeing it here +320. Anything 3-1 or better for a overtime game here, I think is worth it.
So with
I did see a note on the internet about lower scoring, like unders coming in postseason games when shit goes off the rails like that. Bunch of dudes leaving for the locker room early.
Yeah.
tends to be a good.
Well,
settling.
and I would imagine the defense is going to step up. The question is obviously Skinner with his tending issues and then net minding issues, and then
nice
and sound like a real hockey guy. But then too, I always am scared taking the under in the Stanley Cup because the goalie pulled at the end is just such a brutal way to lose. I almost don't want to mess with it. I will take the Oilers on the money line. I'm going to go down with the ship or the rig here, as you say, as an Oilers backer. But Kramer, do you have any plays here for Game 4?
I can't. There would be zero. I'm not in Florida. Not going against this Panthers team.
So are you gonna? Why not lay the 1.5 at +164?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll continue to do the puck line, have fun with it, and then be disappointed when I lose. Is there a significance to them to the entire crowd singing "Country Roads"? Gilbert,
They were just singing any sort of white person stadium song last night. So no, there's not.
I was like, that's interesting. Never seen that song associated with Florida like that. But yeah, they were happy, and honestly, they just seem like they're the team that has the other team right where they want them. So
and that's where the Oilers are backed into a corner. Connor,
I respect the angle.
Yeah, back against the wall. Is there any now? You threw out go to draw there at +320. Are there any props, Gilbert, you find interesting? Maybe shots on goal, points, anything interesting in that market?
So shots on goal. Evan Bouchard has been firing the puck. It's like that Danny DeVito meme. Just I started blasting. He has 7, 8, and 9 shots on goal so far. Him to get 3 is -190. Him to get 4 +140. I think he had 4 in the first period last night. He just keeps on firing. He's insane right now. So Evan Bouchard shots on goal ladder, play it all the way up to 7 or 8. I feel like it could climb there pretty good. As far as anytime goal scorers have here, A2 Luosterainen is on the third line there with Brad Marchand and Anton Lundell. Marchand is +240 to score. He's on the second power play unit, so that kind of makes sense. Lundell is +390. Then you can get Luosterainen here at +550. He's been pretty good in this series. No goals yet. He has the most, or tied for the most, high danger chances. Has the most individual expected goals at 5-on-5 for the Panthers. So I think he finally breaks through at the +550 price. Also around 40-1 for first goal scorer, if you want to sprinkle that too.
And wasn't officially put out anywhere, but in our Slack channel, I did hit you guys up for Game 3, the Hockey Gambling Podcast guys, and as I was sitting at the Circus Sportsbook, I go, "Who do you like for first goal?" And you gave me 3 names. Bennett was one of them at 15-1, and then I was like, "I'll go with the craziest long shot." And of course, 50. I should have been happy with the 15-1 that you gave out. So. Yeah. Good times on that one. I should have cashed it.
The Slack channel's hot.
Yes. Check out the Slack, but check out the Discord. The Hockey Gambling Podcast guys crush it. Them and the goons in the Discord. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. Get in the hockey channel. Fun hang there during the games, after game, post game. You and Joel have been doing a bunch of post game shows as well. Great reason to subscribe to the channel, the podcast. Before we let you go, any if you had to hop in for the series right now, is there anything you find intriguing?
I think I'd still stick with that Panthers in 6 bet. I'm seeing it here around +230. I think that's probably the way to look if you're looking for a series. There's some fun player props out there though. I mean, most goals right now, Draisaitl was the favorite, but he's now tied, or I think he's trailing now. Bennett and Marchand, they're both 2-1 or fewer. Series most points is kind of tied up. Nothing too much. I did shout out before last game, so it doesn't matter now, but the no 10 goals in any game, it was -145. Now it's up to like -260. So subscribe to the Hockey Gambling Podcast. You would have
there you go.
Sean, you didn't ask me what my prop was.
Yeah, do you have a prop you like? Right?
Well, yes, I do. Let me add it to the screen.
Add it to the screen. Oh, the MyBookie money bag. Let's go.
We're going $25 exact score.
33-1 over on MyBookie. You can get a Stanley Cup exacta tax free over on mybookie.ag. Promo code SGPN. Get you the 100% deposit
I'm
match
only
up to
getting 33 to
$1,000. I saw a 6-0 in there somewhere.
Oh.
Ooh, 3-0
3-0.
Panthers.
Oh.
33 to 1.
All right,
Okay.
I'm back.
And
I'm
that
back.
would also cash your puck line there, Ryan. So.
I'm back.
I don't hate that either. It could be a 3-0 game. Could be a
Yeah,
low
that
scoring
feels-
Bob shutout.
You know what? I'm gonna play the under too. Gilbert made a lot of sense with that angle.
He did.
Yeah.
I'm just scared. I'm just scared to play unders in hockey.
They're usually 5.5. So
Yeah, and they've been 6.5 all series. They've gone over all 3 games. A little regression back to a lower scoring game does make a ton of sense, as does subscribing to the Hockey Gambling Podcast. Tune in, follow them on social. Appreciate you, Ryan, hopping on. Gilbert and Joel do a great job over there. Make sure you check them out. Get in the Discord. Do it all. And Kramer, what do we got coming up? We got some NFL futures with CJ,
Coach of the Year,
Coach of the Year,
Protector of the Year,
yeah,
and then College World Series,
UFL
and
Championship.
UFL Championship.
All
So,
right. Good times as always. And of course,
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
for the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, second the Money Green. He's Ryan.
Halliburton, not a superstar.
Kramer. Let it ride.